1, 2, 3, clap. Hi, and welcome to Hey Buddy, Nice Podcast. Over there, that's Brogan's mum's second favourite host of Hey Buddy, Nice Podcast, Brogan Hastings.
And Brogan's mum's favourite co-host of this podcast, Wayne Giovinazzi.
Aw, your mother doesn't love you.
Second favourite child, second favourite co-host.
Hey, 2
I
out of 2.
shouldn't say that. That'll give her a complex.
Yeah, look, you get 2 out of 2 every time. You're consistent.
Very consistent.
Yeah.
I never even told you about what she said to me the other day because I finally got around to showing her the store. Because she, I have to search it up and show it to her. And she said to me the other day, she's like, I almost bought a couple of your t-shirts. I was like, you're allowed to. She's like, no, but then you'd see it. I was like, I can see the people, I can't see who buys it. She's like, oh, right, because I was going to buy I voted for Wayne t-shirt for me, and I voted for Brogan t-shirt from your dad.
That's funny. She should. At first, I thought you meant that she was saying, oh, but you'll see it, as in, well, of course I'll see it if you're wearing it. Or did she mean you'll see that I've actually made the purchase?
I think she was going to do it as a surprise. And then she was like, oh, you'll see that this email address has bought it. And
yeah, no.
I mean, I do have access to her emails anyway.
Yeah. Imagine if stores did that. They don't. Surely they don't. If it was like, your private information that's the whole thing with like security breaches and shit.
Yeah. I was going to say because Jim knew when I bought a t-shirt, but at the same time, they don't use TeePublic. So their store's separate, so they would see like shipping address and stuff.
Do you know if their store is like directly on their website or like Shopify or something like that?
It's some kind of bait thing. It's like their own actual store.
Okay, yeah. That might be a good idea. We should do our own store. Not complaining about the couple of bucks every time we sell a shirt. That's pretty cool. Couple of bucks.
The only problem with us doing that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm in favour of that, but the only problem is we're very far apart from each other. So where do we keep things? Where do we keep the merchandise? Where do we ship it from?
I forgot about production. I forgot that these items need to be made. Yeah, we don't. And we don't want to spend like however much money it costs and just have excess stock sitting there. It's like we don't have Buddy Fest every year to sell our wares to listeners.
Matt, can we have a table at Scoop Fest?
Yeah, and we'll put up a Scoop Fest sign and we'll just scratch out Scoop Fest and write Buddy Fest. Buddy Fest sounds a bit off. Buddy Fest sounds like it. Yeah,
it sounds like a South Park joke with what was it, Nambla?
Oh yeah, but Nambla is real. I was going to say something, but I don't want to utter his name in the same sentence as Nambla. But then again, here's the only other person I've heard say and talk about Nambla, I think, and that would be Matt Donnelly. Totally real. That's all I was going to say.
Totally,
Nambla is as real as Matt Donnelly.
Real Matt Donnelly.
Totally and utterly. Let's change that. If you don't know what it is, Google's your friend, but I don't recommend Googling it.
No.
So we're becoming a more real podcast every single day.
Yes.
See, now we have the ability. So, dear listener, you didn't know this, but every time we've started an episode, we've gone in cold. We've got no music playing in our ears. We just start talking, and then we go in and we edit in the theme. But now I can just hit this. I've got a button right here. Look. 1, 2, 3, I just touched that button. Theme starts. How awesome is that?
You're our very own wee Jacob the audio guy.
Yeah. See, who needs a Jacob?
Offensive.
Less offensive than Jacob.
Yeah. You don't refer to me as English.
There we go. I didn't think it was going to stop playing. It was just going to play the whole time, so we'd have to do the intro again. I think I've said this before. I don't refer to you as English because I'm not Amish. Because that's what the Amish call. Non-Amish is just English. I might be wrong.
Possibly. I've never heard this.
No? So, hey, English.
No.
Okay.
And that would be very weird because I don't think that there are Amish people outside of America.
Well, yeah. I'm not suggesting like on when you walk down the street, the Amish people are yelling at you, "Hey, English." The Scottish,
Yeah.
Scottish Amish. Yeah. See, I'm thinking
Yeah.
cults at the moment because Kez is watching that Nexium documentary because the second season has started, and I'm glad that I'm not being subjected to it at the moment because she like the first episode she was watching, and I just had words to say about it, and it made nobody happy. She didn't want to have to hear what I had to say.
That's just a very you thing to happen.
Yeah. Speaking of me things, our latest poll, which was Wayne an arsehole? It was Wayne an arsehole about his coffee? We know the answer, but the poll would be fun. So the options were, when isn't he an arsehole? I mean, and nah, he cool. The split was almost dead even. It was 31 to 37 to 31%.
That's So for like 60% say you're an arsehole.
Yeah, that's right. But no,
I'm not even going to hide it. I voted for when isn't he?
Oh, really? I voted for I mean.
I know you did.
Yeah.
But we're friends. I feel like I tell you a lot that you know you're an arsehole.
Yeah, well, my friend legitimately said that it's a pretty good split that represents my personality.
Yeah.
So it's I didn't disagree.
It's not an insult, it's a fact.
Yeah. I wasn't taking it as an insult. If I was going to be insulted, we wouldn't have run that poll. There are polls that I would not run, like
like I don't want to know the answer to.
Yeah, like who do you want to hang out with at Scoot Fest, Brogan or Wayne? Because we know the answer to that.
Who's your favourite co-host? Everybody answer except Brogan's mum.
No, it would be out of 100 votes, it would be 99% to 1%. Because I would have voted for myself, and your mum wouldn't have been able to work out Twitter, I guess. Or does she use Twitter?
My mum doesn't use Twitter.
Oh, damn it! Get her on Twitter.
I worry that we're going to end up in a Jim's mum situation where somebody's going to turn her into a joke.
Yeah,
and a beloved joke, but.
Yeah.
She's going to get involved in things she doesn't need to get involved with.
Yes. Doesn't need to nor want to really get involved in.
I fear I would have to explain it to her. Like Jim has to explain Batmum to his mum.
Yep. No. We're not talking about another podcast bit. I was going to say, I don't remember how it started, but I'm sure I do remember. But
I haven't found that out yet.
Oh, you're not up to that? Really?
No.
Are you still slowly catching up on the backlog of ICS?
I've put that on the back burner for just now, and I'm doing pod therapy, mostly because there are less episodes of pod therapy, so it's less intimidating.
Yeah. Less intimidating, yeah. I've started to listen to...
My mum did ask me, actually. I know that we talk about Lord Mr. Dr. Timothy Joe Bartholomew a lot, but we're also talking about my mum a lot. This is a very Brogan's mum heavy episode. So my mum asked me, I was talking about therapy and stuff. I was like, well, I'll listen to pod therapy, so at least there's that. And she said, right, what's his name? What is the guy's name? And I was like, there's Dr. Jim, and I mean, not really a doctor. There's
Mr. Nick. Yeah.
There's Jim and Nick. And she went, okay, who's Jimothy? I was like, that's Jim.
Jim is short for Jimothy.
Is that his real name? Is his real name actually Jimothy? I was like, no. We just call him Lord Mr. Dr. Jimothy Joe Bartholomew.
Yeah. See, my mom, I assume, like, I don't even know if she's actually listening to the show or not.
She likes stuff.
Yeah.
Doesn't she?
Yeah. But last time I saw her, she was dropping off a belated birthday gift for me. So it was like a few weeks ago. And I was showing her some designs for the store. And she's like, oh, that's awesome. I don't know that yet because I haven't been listening. I've got a backlog. And I'm like, my mother has a backlog for podcasts? As far as I'm aware, she doesn't really listen to podcasts. She listened to a bit of ICS back in the day when she was looking for things to listen to. But then why would her own son be in the backlog, right? Is she putting Joe Rogan above us? Is that what's going on?
Possibly. I mean, my mum listens to 2 podcasts as far as I'm aware. She listens to us and she listens to
The CEO.
podcast. Diaries of a CEO, I think it's called.
Oh.
But she just presses play and it plays whatever episode's next. So
Oh,
sometimes
right,
she'll be like, she doesn't listen to them in order. She just plays whatever the app tells her to play.
See, my podcast history, right? I guess back in the day, I did used to listen to the I can't remember what it was called, but it was IGN, and it was the Nintendo podcast. Nintendo Voice Chat is what it was.
Yeah.
So this is in the heyday of the Wii and the DS, and when you had, I can't remember anybody's name right now. What are they? We're just going to sit here till I remember. Matt Casamassina and the other guy who I can't remember his name. So that, I guess that was the first podcast I actually listened to, and that would have been circa 2007. And then that sort of only went on for 6 months or so until I stopped listening. And then it was Penn Sunday School was it, and then ICS, and that had been my entire podcast history. So I've sort of started branching out just for more research or education of myself, because I feel like the more that I listen to, it will help us. It will benefit us and the buddies. Is that, no, the cheese bags. It will help the cheese bags.
Yeah.
So, like, what podcasts did you used to listen? Did you listen to anything before, like Sunday School and ICS and all that?
I've gone through a couple of phases where I listened to podcasts. So I went through, very first one was probably Welcome to Night Vale, which was good. I do miss listening to that. The early episodes of that were so good. I really need to get back to that.
I don't know what it is. It sounds like it would be a fiction podcast.
It's a fiction podcast, and it's essentially, it's like broadcast from a radio station in this place called Night Vale. And it's just a place where weird ass things happen. But people just, that's just what happens. And people are just like, that's normal. Yeah. There's a cat floating in the bathroom. That's normal.
That's just a Tuesday.
Yeah. All hail the glow cloud.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. So there was that phase, then I kind of dropped off. Went back to, I was also listening to a lot of sports podcasts for a long time.
Really?
Well, not a long time. Yeah.
Listen to sports podcasts.
Yeah. I was really into American football for a while.
Okay, because I'm not really pegging you for a sports fan.
On and off. I like hockey now. I like hockey a lot, but mostly because with hockey's a good watch, regardless of whether your team's winning or not. Whether you understand the sport or not, it's a good watch.
You just like to see a good punch up.
Well, not only that, they're hugely talented. Even if they're losing at the sport, to be able to do what they do on the ice is unreal.
Yeah.
It's also the weirdest fucking sport I have ever encountered. Like, there is a literal video series that the NHL themselves put up called Weird NHL. And it's just videos of the weird things that have happened in the last, like, however many games.
Yeah.
And there's also a book that's got that's called The Weird History of NHL, which I really like that book. That's one of my comfort reads.
I've never watched a hockey game. The first time I was subjected to a hockey game was in 2018, the day that we got to America. We were getting our phones sorted out, and Golden Knights were playing, and it was like playoff season, and it was a big game, and everyone was happy because they won. And it was happening right there and then. That was the first time I was subjected to it in this phone store, getting a SIM card. Just before
I'm not
closing.
liking the word subjected to.
Well, I didn't go out of my way to hunt it down. I'd been traveling for over 24 hours getting a SIM card for my phone. And it was there on a giant screen in this phone store, which was about to close. But I think because the game was on, the staff wanted to stay and watch the game. So I got lucky. Yeah.
I do enjoy it, and sometimes, like, there's certain things that I like. Like, I like watching, like, my team is the Golden Knights.
Of course.
I really enjoy watching them, of course. I also like the Philly Flyers, mostly only because of their mascot. Their mascot, Gritty, is insane, and I love him.
Gritty's the orange dude, isn't he?
The orange thing.
Not to be confused with me.
But I love Gritty. And this season, they've also hired a new coach, John Tortorella.
Mm.
And now Torts is infamous in the NHL. That's his name. Torts,
he sounds like a pasta dish.
Yeah, he's famously brutal. Absolutely, takes absolutely no prisoners. But I really enjoy watching him. I enjoy because I like him in press conferences and stuff. Like there was one time he was doing a press conference thing, and I don't know why, but there was like somebody from the press had their phone up on the stand that he was at, and the phone kept ringing and he kept hanging up. Right? And then he looked at it and it was like one of the guy's mums. So next time it rung, he just picked up, "Hello? Yeah, no, this is John Tortorella. Yeah, no, your son's in the middle of doing something. No, I'd rather talk to you than your son." So I really like him. But yeah, I think I like watching the Golden Knights. I've been to a Golden Knights game.
Yes.
I couldn't enjoy it because it was the very last night that Penn and Teller were doing a show before
traveling to Australia. Oh, was it Full-Us? Okay, it was before.
No, it was Full-Us. Because I think they did a couple more shows after Full-Us and then then Australia. But yeah, so they lost the first goal. So the first quarter, I was like, nope, take me back. I don't want to sit and watch the Golden Knights lose when I could be watching Penn and Teller.
Yeah.
And I think overall, when I got outside, the Golden Knights did score, but they did overall lose the game. So I wasn't gutted. But I got to see the very best bit, which is the entire showmanship of a Las Vegas sports team, which is there's like an entire show before the actual match starts. Yeah, it's fucking great.
Yeah,
it was really good.
That's what used to entice me to the local basketball, because the Wildcats being such a successful team, they've got the revenue behind them to put in big production beforehand. So like you used to start off, you'd have a marching band would come out and do a song or whatever. And then you've got the Night Corp dancers. They're not cheerleaders. They're dancers. They'll come out and do a routine to a song, and there's like fire going off everywhere and shit like that. The whole stadium's pumped full of fog machine fog. And then the mascot comes in, and not just walking in, "Hey everybody, I'm Wilbur the Wildcat." He fucking swings down from the rafters on a rope and shit. Like the last game, it was the Halloween themed game, so he was riding a broom when he did it. And I'm thinking, I hope that's attached to him, because if he drops that'll hit someone, and that would not be pleasant.
Yeah.
And then you got the whole like, because it's the Wildcats, the stadium, they call the stadium the Jungle. So, of course, they play Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses as the team runs in. It's like, and number 24, the captain, Jesse, the Body Wagstaff, and stuff like that. They put a lot of production value into it. So, I imagine it's very much like that. But same sort of atmosphere, because the fans get behind it as well, which that makes me wonder if it's mostly fans going to a Knights game or if it's tourists.
I don't know. There was a lot of fans. Like I know this sounds so bad, but one of the big reasons that kind of put me off, because I was at the game alone. I'd booked the tickets around the same time that I booked Scoop Fest tickets.
Yep.
Because it was really last minute for those games. So I was there on my own. Sitting next to me was this like 9-year-old girl in full Knights getup, and when I say she was screaming, I mean she was screaming like proper. Like I've only heard somebody scream like that at a sports team with my dad and my brother.
Yeah.
At like World Cup, like league finals, whatever. Like proper screaming, and every time, like not even just goals, just like if. Like one of the Knights dunked someone into the glass shield, which happens a lot. Yes, or the other way around. How did no?
Yeah.
I was like,
anytime something
this
happens,
is too much for me. This is far too much for me. I need someone in between me and this child.
Yeah. The little girl, the little child was invested. She
was very invested.
Yeah.
She was too invested.
Yeah. So
I would have preferred going. I think at the time I was kind of hoping that there would have been at least another scoop going at the time.
Yeah.
But
which there might have been.
There might have been, but I never found out.
You can answer me this. You watched the latest Vegas Knights game, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so when I was doing my drawing stream yesterday, Andrea, aged runner, came in to the chat.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, how are you? How you doing? What you doing? It's like she'd been watching the game, and naturally, big Knights fan, and they were like, that they were. It was 4-0 or something, and that and left it kind of vague as to what was going on. And I'm like, so did they win? Is that a winning score? Is the game over? And there was no response in regards to that.
Let me just double check.
Like, did something weird happen?
They definitely won. I know that they won.
Because she seemed kind of ominous about it, or down about what was going on. It's like, oh, there's still a long time left. And it's like, well, for 4-0, that's
yeah. So unless she was watching the third quarter.
In a game of just 3 periods.
Yeah, I'm used to games with quarters.
Yeah.
No, it was 4-0 overall. So,
okay.
So yeah, they did.
Unless maybe they were suggesting that because it's early in the season, isn't it?
It's early. Yeah. Well, they've played 9 or 1. They've played 9. They've won 7, lost 2, which
that's all right.
Puts them second only to Boston Bruins, who have played 9, won 8, and lost 1.
We'll just wait for a sec because Kez is running water.
Ooh.
Do, do, do.
You know I can't hear the running water, right?
Let me see if my microphone's picking it up. Yeah, it's not. So when you were at the Knights game, did you see that the kick-ass angry Knight smacking his shield with his sword? That's not a euphemism.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, I did see that. Yes, and there was an entire sword fight on the ice.
Oh,
pre-game. Really?
Yeah,
I loved that. It was so freaking cool.
Forget Tournament of Kings. Don't need that.
I'm quite sad that we didn't end up going to Tournament of Kings, though. Was it even on?
Don't know, but we could have seen Tournament of Kings and Mac King at the same time, not the same time, but the same day in the same place.
We could have. We didn't even go to see Mac King together.
No, but you saw him a couple of times.
I saw him twice.
I'm only just realizing now, of course, Mac King is at Excalibur. It's the perfect name. How did that not click before in my head? I mean,
branding.
Yeah. Before, I can't remember, what's the name of the hotel he was at before? I know it. Hey, Kez.
Oh.
What was the Mac King hotel where you used to be before that? Oh, you know, the one with the weird clown thing that I hated on top of the building.
Circus?
No. The Jester. It was a Jester. Further down from the Flamingo, past the link, where we saw him. Man, why can't I remember the name of the hotel? Harrah's. Yep. You both got it at the same time. Harrah's is where he used to be. But looks like he got pushed out by Tapeface. Who look, I liked Tapeface on AGT, but I don't know. I've heard some shit. I'm not one to be a fan of Tapeface. Yeah,
I've never actually seen Tapeface, but I know he was at the Fringe one year.
How long ago? Because it may have been at the time when he was known as the boy with tape on his face.
It was definitely called Tapeface.
Yep.
At the time, I know that. It was a good few years ago, maybe 2015.
Yep.
Maybe. But he was in a show called Fourth on the Fringe, which is like, I think I maybe talked about it before, but it's essentially a variety show.
Yeah.
And my mom and dad went to see it, and they came back and they were like, "Oh, we liked certain acts. That Tapeface was shite."
Oh, really?
yeah, they really didn't like it. So
he's got some good bits, like for sure.
Well, bearing in mind it's only a 10-minute section.
Okay, so what he did might not have been his strongest.
Yeah, and it just every time I see posts, I'm like, it doesn't really appeal to me at all.
Yeah,
it might be good, but you know. I would definitely go see Colin Cloud.
Yeah, I would see Colin Cloud because when I saw when he was on AGT, they made him be more serious and ominous than what his act actually is.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I was like, well, that's good. I would go see Colin Cloud.
Mm-hmm. I just remember him because, I mean, my brother's a lucky bastard. He's seen a lot of acts pre them blowing up.
Yeah.
Because he actually came to the primary school that both me and my brother went to after I left. Yeah, and done magic there. So that's how Mitchell knew him. And Mitchell went to see him in the Fringe. And Mitchell also went to see Lewis Capaldi.
Oh, really?
Back when he was just playing in pubs, yeah.
Hey, Kez, did you get your tickets
For
to
free.
Lewis Capaldi? Did you get tickets to Lewis Capaldi? Did you get tickets to Lewis Capaldi? Yeah, Kez has got her tickets to Lewis Capaldi.
Mitchell saw him for free back in the day.
Brogan's brother saw Lewis Capaldi for free because Lewis Capaldi visited his high school? Is that what you were saying? Or was that...
No, this was before Lewis blew up. This was pre-single.
So
release.
we just saw him doing a gig one time.
He's a friend of our friend.
Oh, so we could have ins with Lewis Capaldi is what I'm hearing.
Possibly.
Which
means then he's from West Lothian.
Hang on, Kez is getting excited because if we've got ins to Lewis Capaldi, that means Lewis Capaldi has ins with Niall Horan, who has ins with both Harry and Louis, aka Larry, who have ins with Taylor Swift. Or is that one step too far?
Do you know what? I'll ask Mitchell.
Yeah,
Mitchell knows everyone.
Yep, do it. We'll keep you updated on that. Look, but back to Tape Face. One reason... Yeah, that was last time. But back to Tape Face. A reason why I'm not a fan of Tape Face is because he was being mean to our boy, Piff.
What?
I believe
Unacceptable.
I believe back in the day, he was trying to... I don't know the details. Look, this is secondhand of secondhand, really. But he either wanted Piff's showroom or he wanted Piff... No, wait, sorry, not Piff. No, he was hating on Piff for a different reason. But he was wanting to get Mac out of his showroom so he could be the big draw card. But I can't remember what he was hating on Piff about. Like I said, this is all unverified information that I may or may not have made up in my own head.
Back to doing unscheduled ads. I miss doing these.
Yeah, but we're meant to be like more excited, but like, oh, damn, it's time for an unscheduled, unannounced ad break.
You're better at being more excited about things. I'm just totally deadpan. I'm just like, yeah, I am excited on the inside.
Yeah, but you can't tell. Like, maybe show it to the world.
Unfortunately for an audio medium, my excitement shows on my face, not in my voice. So apologies.
Oh, yeah. Yep. See, I mean, that's the problem with an audio medium. You can't have anything visual. That's something that's based in the visual in an audio format. I mean, imagine if someone tried to like put comics to people in an audio format as opposed to a visual format.
Unthinkable. Who the fuck would do that?
Look, I have to do it because it's my side hustle. It's what I do. Man, how good was that?
Ooh.
How good did I work that in?
Oh, nice.
Because that's right.
Nice.
This ad, don't do that. I'll accept a noise. I'll accept a noise like Jake Peralta, but not like that creepy dude.
Shut up about Michael Rosen.
We're not talking about him. We're talking about the Side Hustle podcast because the Side Hustle podcast is back. It was on a season break. Well, I say break, not really. It was the end of season 1. And like, who knew if they were ever going to actually return? But
it was a while because I think it was longer than they actually planned to be off.
Yeah, because shit started to happen. Like good
because
shit.
Unfortunately, Sarah is highly in demand and in every single show.
Sarah has jobs that aren't side hustles.
Exactly.
But I've listened to the latest episode 1 of season 2. Have you listened to it?
I have. You know I have because I texted you and said, it's Biff! Side Hustle is back and it's our boy!
Look, I'm all happy. I'm excited for Piff, but why do you have to ruin the illusion for the listener? Why do you have to be like, yes, you know that I've listened to it.
Because I'm a bitch.
I'm trying to pull off some conversation here. You know, like the fine type of conversation you hear on a podcast called The Side Hustle.
We're not there yet.
Yeah. But yeah, it's Piff the Magic Dragon is the first guest on The Side Hustle season 2. Our boy, Piff the Magic Dragon.
Our
little
boy.
boy. Our boy. It's good. I mean, his like there's no spoilers or anything, but he talks about work that he's had and his foray into magic and how that panned out for him. Very interesting, inspiring, dare I say.
Yeah, and I think it's cool as well because it's stories. There's a lot of stories in it that you know, but like extra information, bits off to the side. It was really interesting.
Now,
So-
like we say stories that like if you're in the world of like Ice Cream Social, Penn Sunday School, and things like that, you would have heard
if
some
you've
of
heard
this stuff.
Piff talk about it before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course, Piff Pod as well. Yeah, you might have heard some of it, even if you haven't. Just as good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get all the information is fresh to your ears.
Mm-hmm. It just makes me miss Piff Pod though.
Yeah, I miss Piff Pod. I miss being on Piff Pod.
I've never been on Piff Pod.
Oh, speaking of Piff Pod, during my drawing stream the other day, when Aged Runner came into the chat, Chris and that were also there as well, and Nort. We were talking about Piff Pod, and at one point, all I see was Aged Runner said, "Oh, have you listened to the one with Wayne G?" And I'm like, I think I am Wayne G, and I was very confused until I read up further in the chat. I think it was Chris said that he was listening to Morning Murders, and she's like, "Sorry, I meant to say the one about John Wayne Gacy." So yes, I mistook myself for John Wayne Gacy.
I mean, not a mistake you really want to make.
No. I mean, I've never dressed as a clown, so I haven't murdered anybody either. That's right, isn't it? John Wayne Gacy was the one who dressed as...
Murderer.
No, that was
consider it was on Morning Murders.
Yeah.
But
Morning
yes,
Murders, yes.
Murderer Clown.
Murderer Clown.
You give clowns a bad name.
Okay, anytime that a murderer anything is mentioned now, that song must be sung. So, for example, if I said, it's an inside-outy octopus murderer...
You give octopi a bad name?
Inside-outy
That was a bad example. I don't know what the plural for
octopedes.
octopus is.
Octopedes.
Octopedes.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're
you
getting
wouldn't
off
know
the
that.
subject.
Okay, yeah. I was going to bring up
we
another
love and appreciate
podcast.
Side Hustle. Side Hustle is the is the co-hosts of the Side Hustle is the very real wife of the very real, absolutely not made up Matt Donnelly, Sarah Lowe, who is entertainment royalty, and Chelsea, who's sorry I've forgotten. Chelsea Phillips Reid. I knew I'd remember it. Chelsea was Sarah Lowe, who is actual entertainment royalty, and Chelsea Phillips Reid.
Yes.
Who is not, but is also great. I love her. I love them both.
Well, why don't you just marry them? Because I believe at least one, if not both, are already married, and bigamy is not permitted in the state of Nevada.
No. I mean, marrying Sarah would also mean marrying Matt.
Would it?
In a very real marriage contract.
Would it? Would that, would that make you...
It would be like that...
sibling
Parks
spouses?
and Rec bit. This is my boyfriend so-and-so, and that's their boyfriend.
Yeah.
And Chelsea is married to a Brit.
Oh, yes. I did know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
yes,
they
we
were
love
talking
them.
about it. Yeah.
Go love and support Side Hustle because it's fucking great.
Look, do it. I had trouble finding their feed, right? Because I go into my podcast app and I type in The Side Hustle. There is a few different podcasts called The Side Hustle. So go to the Side Hustle podcast website, get the RSS feed. That's the easiest way. That's just my little tip to you. And you can thank me. I'll wait. I'll wait here until...
Thank you, Wayne.
Oh, you're welcome. Anyway, we should probably get back to the regular scheduled podcast. So, yeah.
So Take Face is not on the list of things we're going to see when we go back to Vegas. Colin Cloud is.
Yeah. Tape Face, I wouldn't. I don't think.
No.
So Colin Cloud is with Shin Lim, yeah?
Yeah, because it's a half and half show, if I remember right.
Yep.
So yes, I would like to go see them, and I would like to go to a Golden Knights game. I would be okay not dragging you because I think
it's so expensive.
Now that we're actually friends with Dr. Jimothy Bartholomew, Lord Mr. Dr. Jimothy Bartholomew, he's a Golden Knights fan. Yeah. So I could at least say, "Are you going to the game, sir?"
Do you know if he's a season ticket holder or anything?
I think he is, but I could be wrong.
Oh, fancy. I mean,
yeah.
Potential fancy pants. I say that, but I'm a season ticket holder, a member, they call it, of the Perth Wildcats, and I'm not fancy. There used to be a place, I don't know what you would equate it to. But it was called WA Salvage, right? WA standing for Western
Okay.
Australia. And they sold a whole bunch of stuff, variety. It was a big variety place, but it was in like a warehouse almost. Plenty
Okay.
of them around. And their slogan was, "We ain't fancy, but we're cheap." That doesn't sound like a good thing either way. And the mascot guy, it was Luigi, Mr. Saver the Money.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but I think he was Italian though. But he was of course puts on the voice. Mr. Saver the Money. We aren't fancy, but we cheap. Eh? That's how we end it every time. It's like at the end. I miss WA Salvage because you go there and they'll have toys down one aisle, fucking hardware down the next, furniture. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Sounds like a B&M.
A bowel movement.
No, B and M. That's like a variety store that we have here.
Yeah. So
Or
it was
bargains or that kind of thing.
Yeah. It was kind of, I don't know who their competitor was. Maybe Bunnings, the big hardware chain, would have been their competitor.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not really places like that anymore. There's small variety stores where you can buy random stuff, which like toys, arts and crafts, and homewares. Like that's where I got your Brogan socks from. It was from Red Dot, the price choppers. I think that's still their catchphrase. Do you know B&M's catchphrase?
I don't.
Oh,
I think they're too cheap to have a catchphrase.
come on. I'm going to look them up. Oh, here we go. B&M, wallpapers, curtains, furniture, toys, vacuum cleaners. Their website looks very much like Big W in Australia.
Yeah, very
except all
possible.
Cookies. I doubt it.
I think they're the spiritual successor to Woolworths.
Really? You know what?
I
I think that it might be. Would you consider it similar to Walmart even? Oh, you haven't been to Walmart, have you? Because Big W seems...
Imagine all this, but like cheap as hell.
They're basically look
and
like
I mean
a
like that in
department store.
aesthetic and everything.
Oh no, their website makes them look nice. I mean, I'd buy that tray of Cadbury Dairy Milk Winter Collection 232 grams for £2.50, exclusive to B&M, in-store only. B&M exclusive.
Oh yeah, if you look on the website, it's fine. If you actually go into one of the stores.
You'd walk in and you go, it's not fancy, but they're cheap.
Exactly. Exactly.
So there you go. That's how it works in their favour.
Am I going to have to go along to a B&M and do a live stream from there? Live
Absolutely.
on Instagram.
Have you got one within walking distance? If you look out your window, can you see it next to the hairdressers or dentist? I can't remember which is you can see.
The dentist. No, it's not. It's within walking distance, but not dentist level.
But you would walk it. You would, or you could.
I could. I could. Will I walk it? No. Will I take the car? Yes.
We're not going to say how far away it is because you're going to tell me in miles, and we know the trouble there. How long would it take to walk to B&M?
Maybe about 30 minutes.
Yeah, see, that's a bit meh. And if you're carrying back one of their flat pack shelving units, that's a bit troublesome.
Exactly. It's doable, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. So B&M seems more like a Kmart to me. All our department stores have letters. Kmart, Big W. They're the only
we
two
like
that have
letters.
Yeah, as opposed to lettuce. Lettuce is fine. I ain't no Paul Mattingly. Let's move on from department store talk and move into something a little more regular, which is art talk. Now, you made you didn't really make a promise, but I guess you had a verbal commitment, a verbal contract of putting out a Penn and Teller bit.
Yeah.
Because you talked about it last episode.
Yes.
Did that happen? Is it going to happen?
I'm a bit late. I'm still within timing.
Okay.
Technically, because we record this on a Sunday, but...
Oh, so what you're saying is you have to get this done today?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Have you started it yet?
Kind of. So the one I think I've settled on is...
Teller kicking someone in the face. Teller kicking someone in the face.
No, because I can't do that justice in the time limit. That's the only reason.
Yeah, yep.
So I've gone for something a bit more simple, which is the card in the eyes.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Which I've gone with the sleepy version.
Yes.
Because that's cute as hell.
As opposed to the shades.
Yes. But my problem with it just now is I have them both. I have them both with their eyes shut.
Yeah, see, I was thinking how you're going to pull that off because, I mean, you don't have to show off the punchline to the trick.
No, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them, because I never put anyone else. It's always only Penn and Teller in things. I could put in someone else, but I tend not to.
Yeah.
Like there's no rules against it. It just means drawing someone else, and I don't want to.
Exactly. You won't get punished, but it's extra work, which is punishment alone.
Exactly. So, my idea right now is the boys asleep on the couch with one card face up in front of them on the floor. That is the 3 of clubs.
Yep, that works.
I think that'll work, and it's kind of cute.
You could do like a section zoom in, like an arrow with a circle, and it can be like in the future with Teller with his eyes open. But that's just more work. You held up your iPad to the screen, and it was just bright. Couldn't see a
far
thing.
Too bright.
Yep. So if you're gonna hold something up to the screen, make it an inside-outy octopus. Just the one though, because you don't know what multiple are called.
Yes, I've just sent you the sketch, so you can.
Okay, I'll open it on my phone so I don't have to muck around with anything else, and that will also tell me where you sent it. Oh yeah, Sleepy Boys.
Yeah.
It looks like if your sketches of them weren't in different colors, it would look like Penn has his hand on Teller's leg or his tummy, but it's Teller's hand hugging a pillow.
His hand will be on his knee.
Oh, okay.
Like dropping the cards.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yep, that's going to come out okay.
I think so. But they're cute, aren't they? Oh
yeah.
My God. I was watching because I was watching multiple versions to try and get different ideas and different poses. I think the Foolish one is my favourite, but I'm very fond of the one that they done on Jonathan Ross's show, because they done that in the green room with Tom Jones.
Yes. Yep.
And it's just Taylor just curling up to Tom. And the Unpleasant World, because Taylor just literally is splayed out on that couch, like his legs are over the arms, and Penn wakes up and he's got his like proper huge curly hair. Yeah. It's a huge fro. It's like I don't think I realised how big his hair was.
Yeah.
That's why his hair's so big.
It looked blown out.
It really is. Yeah. It's a literal cushion, like he leaned on Tom French, and it like covers half her face.
So when you were looking at different versions, did you come across other of the sunglasses versions?
No, the only sunglasses one I've found is the Magic and Mystery Tour.
So was that in a
having
school,
said that,
though?
I don't know what the trick's actually called. So every time I look up like Penn and Teller, Sleeping Penn and Teller Card and Eyes, because I know that there's a version on a very early talk show that they did that I can't find.
Okay. The Magic Mystery version, is that in a classroom?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So maybe that is the only one I know of then.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Because yeah. I guess microphone abuse. I guess you're not going to be like pretending to sleep around children in a foreign country. It seems a bit
the setup that would take.
Yeah.
Whereas all that they had to do was Penn just had to take off his sunglasses and Taylor leave his on.
Penn had to take off his sunglasses? What?
So if they both walked in there wearing sunglasses, Penn takes his off to do the trick. Taylor leaves his on, does the trick, and then I was like, Taylor. Then he takes off his sunglasses. There's no actual setup prior to walking. Once they walk into that classroom. Yeah. So.
It's one that it's a bit you can do on the streets. It becomes a bit you can just do. Is that what you're saying? Yeah,
as long as he's put the shells in his eyes.
Shells, yeah.
So yeah, that's.
Yep. That is it.
It's got to look cute.
Yeah. But. You're not. We had a bit of a production meeting beforehand, and you haven't really done any other artwork.
No, I think I'm maybe on a little bit of a burnout right now, but I'm hoping that'll change. It doesn't help that I've not been very well.
Yeah, I was going to say illness is certainly not been helping. So we had Hey Buddy Nice Sick co-host, followed by Hey Buddy Nice Dead co-host. I guess this is Hey Buddy Nice Reanimated co-host.
Resurrected co-host.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that last episode, it was accidentally spooky. That was our Halloween episode, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
It was spooky with a spooky title card. It was spooky with ghost haunted talk. And that was really all the spookiness, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It paid off.
Yeah.
And I was excited. Oh, we can do a Halloween episode. And I just totally forgot about it because somebody thought it was a good idea to do 2 episodes a week, and we totally lose track of what episode is coming out when. And like this episode, this comes out January 18th next year, I think, as far as I know.
This episode comes out the 4th of November.
4th
so we'll
of
be
November.
by the time that you good people are hearing this, we're into, festive season.
Yeah.
When
Happy
I am
4th
at my
of November,
strongest.
everybody. I hope your Thanksgiving plans are coming to fruition. I don't know. We don't do Thanksgiving.
No, fuck Thanksgiving, man.
Yeah.
It's strange because for you it's summer and for me it's winter.
It is. So is it cold? Well, we're coming into summer, but it's raining daily almost.
Yeah, it's certainly cooling down. It's it's not freezing yet, but
Yeah.
I can tell it's getting there.
But the days of the heat wave are long behind you.
Long behind me.
Yeah. No longer even in the
Which is
rearview
unfortunate because
mirror.
our gas prices have gone up. So now
Tariffs, everyone's tariffs have gone up.
yeah.
But speaking of tariffs, it's time for everybody's favorite podcast in a podcast. They're not so good at this podcast.
Not so good at this.
The first comic we're looking at today is Not So Good at This 402, working title, Patience. It's 5 panels long, and in the first panel we see a guy who we assume to be a doctor saying, "No, I am a terrible doctor." And in the second panel he continues, "'Cause I have no patience," and is laughing to himself. In the third panel, someone else has approached and said,
No, it's because your mortality rates are off the charts.
and at the same time they both jovially say,
Doctor jokes!
And in the last panel she continues,
Seriously though, your license is being revoked.
that's the comic. And that comic is special thanks to patron Jesse M, who can tell me the difference between license, patience, and patience. Because seriously, I had trouble working out which one was which for license and patience for which one was meant to be. Because, there's 2 different types of licenses and there's 2 different types of patience. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Not so good at this.
The next comic is Not So Good at This 403, working title, I Hate Greg, and it's 4 panels long. In the first panel, we see 2 people having a chat, guy and a girl, and the girl saying, "Boy, do I hate Greg. I hate him more than Hitler." And in the second panel, the other person is saying,
Oh, how much does Hitler hate Greg?
and in the third panel, she's glaring at him saying, "You know that's not what I mean." And in the last panel, we see Hitler saying, "That fucking Greg." That's the comic.
Fucking Greg.
Fucking Greg.
He didn't do it in a German accent.
Okay, fine. Well, look, this is staying in as is, but I'm gonna just for you, we'll do it. And in the last panel, we see Hitler saying, "That fucking Greg." That's the comic. There we go.
That's what I want. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Not so good at this.
The last comic today is Sad Pirate number 23, working title, Scene Bird, and it's 3 panels long. In the first panel, we see Sad Pirate talking to his first mate and is saying, "Yar, have you seen Petey?" And in the second pirate, the first mate is stating,
Oh, Petey flew away.
and in the last panel, we see the first mate has approached Petey, who's standing on a little stick, but is chained to it. And the pirate is saying,
You're mine now.
that's the comic.
I think I made him sound more creepy than he actually looks in the comics, but
That's fine.
it puts the lotion on its feathers.
Yeah. Puts the lotions on its feathers, or it puts the lotions on its feathers, or it gets the plank again.
Yep.
So last week we had an episode. Was it last week or was it the week before? It must have been last week. See, this again, 2 episode weeks throwing me. I don't even know what day of the year it is.
Describe the incident and I will tell you when it was.
I believe that you were flexing on me. That's what was happening.
That was all episodes at all times. Next question.
Tell that to your mother. And I mean that in a good way. Oh, Brogan is hand to heart, other hand to forehead, falling backwards. I don't know if that was...
No, that's the thing I'm sensitive about.
Aww. Now I feel bad.
No, you don't.
But no, you were flexing on me because our dear kidnapper, Brian Brushwood, and Justin Robert Young as well, were following you on Twitter, but not following me.
Yes.
Yep. That flex is gone. You can't flex on me on that now, my friend, unless we're talking specifically about Justin Robert Young, because an awkward situation happened that made Brian Brushwood follow me.
You got that pitiful.
Oh man, it was awkward. We know what was going on. Everything was was lighthearted, in good fun. But the thing is, it was all happening while I was asleep. So I wake up and like, what is going on? Because totally real person, Matt Donnelly got tagged in this as well, and he didn't know what was going on either. And I'm like, oh my god, this is terrible. I don't know what to do here. So I was just like, yep, my move here is, I'm just going back to sleep. I have no idea what's going on. Nighty night, folks. But I did notice that because Brushwood was tagged in this post saying that they don't follow me, Brushwood started following me.
Yeah.
But
Jury still doesn't, though.
I don't think Jury... Did you already check, did you? You checked, didn't you? You opened... Yep. That grin on your face.
I checked on the podcast and laughed at you.
No, I mean now.
Oh, now?
Yeah.
Surely you would know. Surely you would have a notification if Jury followed you.
Shut up. I may not have the support of Justin Robert Young, but I do have the support of your mother. And I'm sure you do too.
This is why my mother's not allowed on Twitter, because I think she would follow the podcast and follow you, and that's it.
Well, if your mother tried to follow you on Instagram, would you accept that follow?
No. Well, probably not. But she knows not to. She knows not to. That's the thing.
That's all right. She knows better.
Yeah, she's very approving of... Not very approving, but she's, in support of me saying family members do not get to follow me.
Yeah, that's right. And you've got a is Brogan a live account for when it's active for them to follow to see if you're alive. Exactly. Other than that, they can check in with you anytime, day or night, I assume. They just kick down your door and say, "Hey Brogan, take a look at my new hockey mask and chainsaw." Chainsaw and hockey mask. Go that back to front. Is
that from The Simpsons?
Yeah, it's when Homer bursts into Bart's bedroom when Sideshow Bob is hunting him down, and they're like sort of on the lam as the Simpsons, I want to say. Mm-hmm. And he bursts in and say, "Hey Bart, look at my new chainsaw and hockey mask."
The one like that I always like is from a show called Helsing Ultimate Abridged on YouTube, which is the same guys that done
Little Karibo.
DBZA Abridged.
Is it not Little Karibo then? Or is it?
Similar team. I don't think Little Karibo's in this.
Aww.
But no, it's the Helsing version, the Helsing Abridged series where they're like, oh yeah, no, they're recruiting all these other people. It's like, oh yeah, no, it'll be fine. And then Alucard comes through the wall. Hey kids, want to see a dead body?
Yes. Want to see a dead body. That's also in The Simpsons. The kid want to see a dead body.
It's the joy and the speed he does it with.
Yeah.
First of all, hey kids.
But anyway, I just need to shout out to Brian. We know you listen. Thank you for following me on Twitter. I don't know why it took someone else tagging you to actually start following, being that you heard on the show that you don't follow me. What's up with that? But if you want to be like Brian Brushwood, you can follow us on Twitter. It's at NicePodBud. And it's not just Twitter, it's all social media, that Facebook thing, TikTok, which we should use, but we don't, but we probably shouldn't use. I mean, I can probably say the same about Twitter nowadays with good old Elon, hey? But yeah.
Elon's going to drag me off that platform I'm going to die on that platform, as I will die on Tumblr.
So you're not going to leave it, is what you're saying. You will.
Yes, very awkwardly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, cool. And that means you can find Brogan on Twitter at 7BillionNeedles.
Yes, and you can find Wayne on all social media platforms at WayneGeo.
Because who wouldn't want to follow us? And it's not just following us. You can reach out to us by email just go to our website, nicepodbud.com. There's a contact button up the top. You can send us things, I guess. Anything you want. What's some things they could send us, Brogan?
Accent challenges.
Undying love.
Comments, criticisms, anything.
Yeah. We like your artwork, apparently. We wouldn't know because we haven't seen any of it, but send it through to us and we can look at it and talk about it. That would be fun.
Yeah.
But anyway...
I know you were waiting for me to say something there and I just...
What else is there to say except for thanks for stopping by?
Yeah. And as always, stay fresh, cheese bags.